Hey there. Did you hear about the problem regarding art in the school in Florida? Yes, there was a big fight about art. This happened last month. It had to do with the statue, the sculpture of David. The artist who sculpted it is named Michelangelo. If you haven't heard about it, then I think you'll enjoy this story.
English Without Fear, where you can learn to speak English naturally through listening to stories.
This story takes place in a city called Tallahassee, Florida. If you look on the map, you'll get an idea where Tallahassee is and where Florida is in the United States. What was the art? Well, it was a classical piece of art that's located in a museum in Italy, in the city of Florence. Now, here's where Italy is in Europe, and Florence is the most famous city for art in Europe, maybe even the world. In this school in Tallahassee, Florida, children in sixth grade, that is, kids around 11 and 12 years old, were studying classical art from the period called the Renaissance. In this school, in order to help the children understand the art, the teacher had to show pictures. And, for example, Michelangelo's David and also the artist Botticelli, between those two artists, there were two naked men and one naked woman. What is strange about this event is that children in sixth grade in this school, that is, children who are 11 and 12 years old, every year they have a unit, a section of study about classical art from a time in history called the Renaissance. Now, Renaissance is a French word, renaissance. R-E means again, like we have R-E in words like redo, do something again, repaint. I'm going to repaint my house. Rewrite. You need to rewrite your essay for class. So, again, and naissance, birth. So it was a rebirth of the kind of art, music, theater, and literature that had been popular among the ancient Greeks and Romans. When was the Renaissance in Europe? In the 1400s it started. And so every year these students study Renaissance art in sixth grade. But for some reason, when the teacher showed examples of the art, when she showed two works by Michelangelo, David, and a painting about when God created the world, and then a work by another Italian artist, Botticelli, showing a naked woman. This time, some parents objected, complained, and the leadership of the school, they call it the school board, the leadership of the school got involved, and the head of the school board fired the principal. He told her, resign. You are not a good principal. You cannot be principal anymore. And he fired her. Well, at that point, the news started to come out. You had news outlets from newspapers, magazines, internet, TV, radio. They descended on this school in Tallahassee, Florida. And everybody around the world heard about it. Well, the Europeans, especially the Italians, thought this was strange. They thought it was ridiculous. I have a friend who lives in Italy, and he told me several weeks ago that this story was on the front page of every single newspaper in Europe. I don't think the Europeans understand why we were upset, or why some people in Florida were upset. I asked my friend, well, what about European parents? He said, nobody gets upset about their kids learning about the culture. Art and literature and music and theater are really, really important. In fact, some world leaders obviously don't get upset about naked artwork. Here's a picture of the former leader of Germany, Angela Merkel, and Italy's Prime Minister Renzi having a press conference together. And look where the press conference is, in the museum with naked David behind them. They're not bothered. So what's up with America? And one thing that's also strange is that one of the school board members said that Michelangelo's David was an example of pornography. What? Porn? I think most people know the difference between pornography and classical art. I tell you, sometimes I think our values in America are really mixed up. Yeah, sadly, there's a lot of porn that gets purchased and consumed in our country. It's really terrible. But to confuse porn with beautiful art of historic and cultural value, that's just ridiculous. The good thing, this story does have a positive ending. The museum director in Florence, where you can go see Michelangelo's David and other examples, personally invited that principal, the gal who was fired, has given her an invitation. Come to Florence and I will show you David's Michelangelo. I'll give you a personal tour. I sure hope she accepts his invitation. That would be great. Well, what do you think? Was this something to get upset about? If you had children who were 11 and 12 years old, would you be bothered if part of their education was to learn about classical art and perhaps see some naked bodies done tastefully, artistically, with honor? Leave me a comment below this video, and I hope you enjoyed this little story. Well, that's it for this episode. I'm Maria from English Without Fear. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching. For questions or comments, here's my email